Hello there guys, this is me Sam aka Strikes. Welcome back to another video, and today we are in MLB The Show 26. That is right, it's another year and it's another era of MLB The Show franchise. And it kind of took me a while to figure out what team I wanted to do because there was a lot of choices. I wanted to do the Washington Nationals because, they are, you know, kind of you know, probably going to be the worst team in the league. I could have done the Rockies, but I feel like everybody's done them. Wins were nice. But ultimately, I'm deciding to go with the Chicago White Sox. The reason why is because the White Sox 2 years ago came off the worst record in modern MLB history, and there's a lot of stuff that we can play with this roster. I'm super excited for this rebuild. Don't need to watch that. So it's going to be opening day coming up against the Brewers. Let's take a look a bit at this roster. So this roster isn't very good. Best players: Colson Montgomery, 83 overall. Last year he wasn't great. Or last year he had a pretty solid campaign in 71 games. 21 homers, 55 RBIs, 840 OPS. So, not terrible. Not terrible. He's got some decent power and fielding. Contact needs a little work. The ace of this rotation is Shane Smith. He was an all-star last year because every team had to have an all-star. And they chose him. He had a 3.81 ERA last season. Pretty solid. Pretty solid season. So nothing to write home about, but he's definitely not going to be the ace of the rotation for the future. So he's got some nice stuff, and this is the big guy that the White Sox just signed in the offseason. When Munetaka Murakami, he came over from Japan, and he's going to primarily be first base, lefty, B potential, 78 overall. Obviously has no career stats. He's a bad ball hitter. And I see he hasn't won any awards yet because, well, he is still new. He's also only 25. So now we're going to break it down by position. So after Shane Smith, it's kind of eh. Anthony Kay, they signed. He hasn't played in the majors since 2023. 73, nothing to write home about. He's 31. We're probably going to maybe going to hope we can get a good season out of him and then flip him at the deadline, even though he's not a rental. Sean Burke, who was the opening day starter last year for the White Sox, that's how bad their rotation was. 26 years of age. He wasn't terrible last year, the ERA 4.22, so he wasn't the greatest, but it's the White Sox. Davis Martin, too. Davis Martin wasn't great, but a guy who isn't on the 40-man, but could be something in the future here is Hagen Smith. He's in Double-A. He's a lefty with B potential. Hasn't made his MLB debut yet, but he has some nice stuff. Could develop. 69 overall. He was drafted first round in 2024. Number 2 overall prospect in our system. Jonathan Cannon, 2. Fall off. Noah Schultz. Drew Thorpe is someone who I'm interested in seeing. He didn't play. He's been out because he's been out. He missed all last year and was probably going to miss part of this year because he had Tommy John surgery. I believe that's what it was. But he could be a nice piece. Other than that, really nothing to write home about with this rotation. Bullpen's pretty too. Grant Taylor was looking like he could be something, but he wasn't all that. Mike Vasil had a pretty solid season, but there's really no one else here to write home about. They did add Anthony Dominguez in free agency. He played with the Orioles and the Blue Jays last season. Had quite a solid season. He was on that AL. He was on that Blue Jays team that went to the World Series. Hoping he can be a closer. I mean, he is under a 2-year contract. So, but might try to trade him if we can. Catching, this is where it gets interesting. Kyle Teel, the White Sox got him in the Garrett Crochet deal heading into last season, and he put together a pretty good campaign. Pretty good campaign. 8 homers, 35 RBIs, 69 hits in 78 games. These were his numbers. So not bad, not bad for him. Not the best fielder though. Corey Lee was looking promising when he was with the Astros, or when he was prospect. He just hasn't amounted to anything. He just hasn't amounted to anything. I mean, he was solid last season, but he didn't get a lot of playing time. Edgar Quero, I think what I'm gonna do. Ooh, no, I think I'm gonna stick with Quero in the minors for right now. We'll see what happens. I might fix this platoon. I haven't decided yet. First base shot he went over. They also got Clemente Wade Jr. Nothing really special about him. He's just probably just gonna be. I think he's on the 40-man roster. I don't like this new menu that they have, like where you can't like edit teams right there. Second base, Chase Midras had a nice had flashes last season where he looked like he could be a really good player. Decent, okay fielding, not great. He's probably going to be the everyday second baseman. They also got Lennon Sosa, who has also been on and off. He had 22 homers last season, so he does have some power in that bat, which the White Sox need. There's going to be a lot of roster spots open on this team. Third base, Miguel Vargas, they got him in the Michael Kopech. They got him in the Michael Kopech deal with the Dodgers in that 3-way trade that also with a lot of moving parts. Wasn't great last season. Hasn't really panned out like the top prospect he was with the Dodgers. So might move on from him. I don't know yet. Might move on from him. Might keep him. Shortstop we already went over. In the outfield, Andrew Benintendi, they signed him to a nice 5-year contract back in 2023. He's heading into year 4 of that contract. Hasn't been what they paid him to be though. So I might look to trade him. I'm hoping he's a guy who he can have a good season too. His power's gone down a lot too. He's never really been like a full-on power guy, but he's been usually a pretty. As you can see, the drop off. 2020, once he got traded, his numbers just went down a whole lot. Jared Kelenic too, but there's not much to write home about. Now this is an intriguing piece. Luis Angel Acuna, they got him in the Luis Robert trade in the offseason. The brother of Ronald Acuna Jr. Had a really solid rookie year with his 14 games he played. Played 95 last year. Wasn't great. He can play all over. He's going to primarily be at center field, but he can play second base or shortstop if we need him to. He's got great speed. Okay fielding. Bat. He doesn't got the greatest bat, but then we got a bunch of Brooks Baldwin. Forgot about this guy, honestly. He's not going to be anything. Derek Hill ain't doing anything either. Then they did sign Austin Hayes, I believe, to a 1-year contract. He had a solid season with the Reds last year. Nothing to write home about, but pretty solid. So that is pretty much the team. Braden Montgomery is a nice, flashy prospect. So yeah, there really isn't a lot with the team. Let's see what our goal is. Finish over 500. Yeah, that ain't happening. That ain't happening at all. So here's how we're gonna line things up. I think though. Okay. Yeah. This lineup isn't great and not gonna be great. Rotation. Yeah, this team is going to need. Oh, I forgot about Jordan Hicks. I forgot about Jordan Hicks. They signed him too. Fell off once he got traded from the Cardinals. Um, yeah, there's really not a lot. Here's the top 100 prospects. Here's our top prospects. So, want some work. Want some work to get done. This farm system. Some goals I'm gonna have are we gotta, obviously stay competitive. Gotta we're gonna set some of this stuff to we're gonna set a lot of this stuff to manual. 40 man can do that. Hire and fire staff, free agency, trades, waivers. Most of like the roster stuff like this is manual. Okay. So we're projected at 70 wins. There we go. Now I got control. There we go. I was wondering why I couldn't like edit my players or anything. It was really weird. So there was one move I wanted to make quick. Could I add someone to the 40 man? Who can we out from the 40 man? Because I want to provide the 40 man with some arms. I don't know who this guy is. We'll just place to do it on outright waivers. Why not? Get anything we can take at this point. Get that. So, yeah, we got some money to play with. We got a lot of bad contracts. So I want to ditch these contracts because a lot of these are bad contracts. Like I want to ditch. I might try to ditch as many of these as possible. Murakami. Okay, let me phrase that. Besides Murakami, plus if you look, these four are also gonna be. These guys are also gonna be like 30 or above. So I'm probably gonna flip those guys too and just go on a full. And go on a full youth move. Let's see if there's any free agents. So just to add depth. Depth never hurts. Ooh, could do a Lucas Giolito return. He did have a nice season with the White Sox last year. I just want an arm. Let's just see if there's anybody else worth signing to. Not really. Like I said, I just want some arms. Like I said, I just want some arms, and I just want some. Just at least these three guys. I just want some guys. I'll pay Giolito for the 1 year. I'm not adding him. I'm not adding multiple years for you. I'm sorry. You're not that kind of player anymore. I am. Okay, yeah, no, I am not paying you. I'm not paying you that much money, Giolito. I'm sorry. This could be enticing, but we're gonna turn to. We'll turn to Carson Fulmer. Why not? I'm not gonna. Okay, wow, he took a cheaper deal than Lucas Giolito did. That's insane to think about. Ooh. Okay, this guy looks like he could be a steal. So we're just gonna sign this dude. Okay. Alright. So, wow, we made some moves. Let's add our new friends. Let's add our new friends to the roster. Let's just do an outright waivers too. So let's add our new friend. Let's add our new friends to the roster. Welcome, Carson Fulmer. You're a new member of the Chicago White Sox. Okay. Okay. So, didn't I just get rid of a guy though? On the 40-man roster. This dude ain't making the roster. I'm sorry. Then just add this Fritz dude and let's just see what happens. All right. So, yeah, with that being said, I am really excited for this franchise. I am super excited to continue this. And yeah, so with that being said, we're going to have a safe trip in the next video. Peace.